You are live. Today's world, men are depleting themselves, depleting their life force, depleting their sexual energy. They're just blah, 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 all over the place. And you know, it said, shh. And you know that's what's going on across screens all across America and all across the world. That's what's happening. And sexual energy has such potential for exponential growth in your life, health, vibrancy, charisma, clarity, money, finances. See, when you become empowered, when you become charged up with sexual energy, with vibrant energy, and you're focused, you're determined, you've got strong willpower because you know how to retain, you're a man who's mastered his own sexual energy, you are going to be unstoppable. You are clearly going to stand out. There is going to be something different about your aura, about your voice, about your presence that people are going to be attracted to. But you cannot be doing it if you're depleting yourself. And if you don't know how to use your sexual urges consciously, sexual urges are fuel. It's like nitrous oxide. But what happens is most men, as soon as they feel those sexual urges build, right to Pornhub. So we're going to be talking about why you want to be using those sexual urges in a whole different way, how to develop a new relationship and consciousness around your sexual urges, how it's going to set you completely apart from 99% of men who are wasting their energy.
Yeah.
And what is the overall process of transmutation to using those urges and fueling it for impact, for growth, for income, whether you're increasing your sales, increasing your influence, taking your business, taking your life to the next level, your relationships, your health, your money, your income. It's all available through controlling your sexual energy. We're going to dive into it after this.
Soldiers retain. Real strong men are self-control. Their info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. Soldiers retain. Soldiers retain. Soldiers retain. Real strong men are self-control. Their info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. Soldiers retain. Soldiers retain.
General Jake.
Yes,
I salute you, bro. I salute you leading the Semen Retention Army for the Semen Retention Nation. We're transforming the lives of men all across the world. You are doing just an amazing job with our support groups, which we're actually making some updates and changes to. We're up-leveling that game, really bringing some specific support groups around different areas of sexual alchemy, no-fap, semen retention. Tell us, what is the challenge? I really love the challenge this week. Can you explain the challenge that's going on inside of our support groups this week that you're leading up?
Well, it's something I learned last week to do with negative thoughts, or you could say intrusive thoughts or obsessive thoughts, because that's something that I've struggled with before. And because loads of people have it. But actually, sometimes when we're doing these sexual alchemy practices, things can come up. It makes you more of who you are. So if you have some anxious thoughts, some negative thoughts, it's going to bring that up as well as all the positive stuff that you are. So it really brings it to your awareness and helps you to clean it out. And I was reading this book. It's actually about like obsessive thoughts, more like OCD and stuff like that. And the lady who wrote the book, she was very knowledgeable, and she spoke about just how we talk in the Semen Retention Army, how we're actually greater than the body and mind. We live from a place that's greater than that, so we can have influence over the body and mind, and and control actually, and be conscious about. She was explaining we are the soul, and we're not the body or the mind, and to overcome these thoughts, you have to embody that, to remind yourself that actually I'm a powerful being, more powerful than this mind that is having these thoughts come in. But you actually have to embody it. Like we talk so much about changing your state and really like embodying. So she says, every time a negative thought comes in and you want to change that pattern, embody being I'm an empowered being, and then you say this sentence which goes like, I choose to not participate in that thought. I am the boss of my mind, and as the boss, I choose to move on. Just that sentence. And you just say that every time some kind of so-called negative or intrusive thought comes in you don't want to have. And I've been trying it, and already it was diffusing these thoughts that were bugging me for like weeks, these patterns. And because the more if you fight it or you agree with it or whatever, it gives it power. The brain doesn't discern it, just, and the subconscious mind, it just thinks, oh, this is important because you're like going on about it all the time. Or if you're scared of it, it goes, oh, this is important, we'll keep bringing that up. And you're like, no, I don't want to be. So you need to like train your mind to just go, no, it's just random thought. I don't want that again. Like just focus on the positive thoughts that you want to keep reoccurring. So it's very powerful, like reprogramming, just talking with your conscious mind to your subconscious mind every time. And yeah, it's working for me. So I thought I'd put it in the challenge this week.
Yeah, it's a great challenge. And I mean, it's something that as we practice sexual alchemy, like you said, because we become more and more and more aware of our subconscious mind. See, what retention does is that it amplifies, and this is what we're talking about. That's why it has the potential to exponentially grow your life, to totally transform your consciousness, your life, is because sexual energy is expansive energy. Right? Like think about one sperm cell multiplies itself into trillions of cells and becomes a human, the vessel, a human body for a whole life to happen. That's all coming from your sexual energy. Not only does it have that kind of power to multiply and exponentially grow, but this is what was Napoleon Hill in The Laws of Success and Think and Grow Rich really hones on, is that it carries with it intelligence. Because it has the intelligence to do this. It inherently knows growth and attraction because it is sexual energy. And this whole material world is based on attraction. And so here, when you retain, all of your qualities that are attractive come out. But because it's just exponentially growing you, as you talked about, it's also exponentially growing or making you aware of, here's some things that need to be worked out. Here's some things that need to be worked on. Here's who you are. It's just simply like, it's just amplifying you. And now you can see who you are. Now with your challenge that you're leading with our support groups this week is that this level of catching your thought is like catching it at the mind. And then the more internally aware you become, the more you recognize the mind is where it starts. It starts with a thought. Oh, maybe I'm gonna watch something. I desire something. It really starts in the heart with desire, right? Sure. And the quality of our desire, spiritual desires or material desires or desires for, some kind of aspiration in the world, right? It all starts there. I find that this exercise, I really like challenges. I'm excited for it because it makes you very aware of your thoughts. And it goes by the very basic principle of all traditions and all personal development is you become what you think about. So if you can control your thoughts and direct your thoughts and have enough willpower and self-mastery to put your thoughts into a certain picture or vision, like in our leadership development, it's all about creating a vision so that every day you're expressing your energy towards that vision and nothing else. It's fantastic. So I'm excited about it. I'll just take a few comments and then we'll get into the shout out to one of our students. Ethan says, "Hey, bro, give me a shout out."
No,
shout out to you.
We just did. Damn it.
That's right. Moving on. Thanks, Ethan. No, it looks like we're giving a shout out though to Peaky Blinders there, Thomas Shelby. All right.
Yeah.
Jason, how do you stop thinking sexual thoughts? The more I retain, the more sexual thoughts take over. Okay. So that happens because as you're retaining, your sexual energy is building, and the way that you're conditioned, and 99.9% of us, unless you're like living like a priest or a monk and a pure being, so like the majority of us, almost everyone, we are conditioned to, when we feel sexual energy, to relate to it only in sexual expression. And because most of us have watched so much porn, our sexual expression, the tendency is to be like this porn-like scenario. because that's the way we're wired based upon this modern world and pornography culture and oversight. Now, what we do in sexual alchemy is that you don't, first of all, you don't stop thinking sexual thoughts. You transform the quality of those thoughts, because you can't stop thinking. You can't stop a river from flowing. You cannot stop the mind from thinking. But what you can do is use your identity, your self-image, and your intelligence to create such a high self-image or identity of ideals or values that you stick to it and you direct that flow of energy called the mind, thoughts, the river, running the way you want it to run. So the progression that I recommend is, when you think of a sexual thought, if you're a married man, put it to your wife, because that's the natural expression of it. That's the healthy expression. I wonder, my wife's name Sarah, right? So I'm thinking this thought, this horniness comes up, and instead of me being like, oh, I'm gonna go watch Pornhub, or I'm gonna go, I'm like, I wonder what Sarah's doing. Let me send her a little text. Yo, what up, girl? Right, yeah, right. And what's that? Or I have to be a man about it. See, going to porn is like the easy way to express that sexual energy. It's like, oh, I'll just jerk off, right? But I had to do nothing for it. I didn't have to love nobody. I didn't have to be on my A game. I didn't have to take a shower. You know what I mean? I could just whip it out, right? But when you have to actually interact with your wife or your partner, then you'll recognize that you have to step up your game. Maybe you have to plan a date night. But this is why it subtly urges, when you give up porn and pornography and masturbation, your sex life improves, and the quality of your sex goes from this ignorance, this total selfish, self-indulgent rewiring pattern of your brain, which pornography is, to a more healthy expression. I'm going to express it with my wife. I'm going to express it with my lover, and I'm going to show it in a more, in a way that's more natural.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, go ahead, because I'm going to go on a tangent.
It's just so different from the kind of sex that like most of us grew up thinking about, like with porn or music videos or whatever. Like, I wouldn't even call it that. It's just like connection and love, you know, like once you do these practices and your energy becomes transmuted, firstly, the need to watch porn and masturbate just goes away. It's like not even a thing anymore, because your energy is just so much focused on other things and feels so good. But even in my experience, even if you have a partner and it's going to have sex, it's like, it's changed from like a perverted kind of thing or like physical kind of thing to really a energetical, conscious kind of thing, and even spiritual. And I don't know, it depends on different people, but even for me, the urge is different. It's like, it's kind of a bit like take it or leave it more. It's not like this animal desire. It's just kind of like, oh, that's a nice way for us to connect. Like, okay, let's do that. And that's the reason for it, not for like, I have this urge and, oh, I better get a wife now so I can use her for that urge. That's a good place to put the urge. It's just kind of like, oh, I love her, so let's express, you know, in that very close way, like conjugal way. But it's just completely different from this, like physical, lusty porn sex that most people think about.
Well, because today, especially at young ages, we've been shown, you know, sometimes really like hardcore sexual scenes and stuff, and they get such imprinted into our minds that every time we have a sexual urge. Now, remember, being horny is healthy. Like, I'm not telling you don't be horny. Like, that's the difference between me and religions, right? You know what I mean? Or what we're doing here is, I'm telling you that from a biological level, you should be horny. Like, the fact that we have so many men who have low libido, not because they're transcendental beings, but because they're low testosterone and unhealthy, is a problem overall in our society. So we need to actually be horny, but learn to control it and put it into higher endeavors. So when we talk about, so anything that's true at the energy level is true at the physical level. So what I mean by that is that, think about sexual energy and its power. It can multiply into trillions of cells and become a baby. It's sticky, right? It bonds us, right? Sex is a bonding activity. All of those qualities are true at the energetic level. So when you retain, and yes, your libido will increase, you're going to notice the first thing that's going to happen, and it's why most guys relapse or most guys don't become successful in changing their sexual habits and transmuting that energy, is that they're so strongly influenced by the modern way of looking at sex, which is like hit it and quit it, or no, or porn and masturbation, and that there's so much social anxiety to even meet and make love to a real woman. It's crazy where we're at. That becomes the thought process. So what we do is, through the practices, we first change it and say, first of all, celebrate the fact that you've got your libido's increasing, because it means you're getting healthier. Because sexual energy means you're healthy from a biological perspective, but you may not be healthy mentally because you got porn all up in the mind. So that's where you have to now clean out the mind. So the first and most natural way to do that is to bring your sexual expression back to where it's supposed to go. If you're a man, which is with your wife in the family dynamic, which creates, by the way, strong households. Households and partners that have a great sexual life are known to stay together, to be more vibrant, even younger in energy and vibration, because sexual energy is our charisma, it's our power. So the more that we are actually expressing a healthy, natural sexual life, there's a lot of actual health benefits on the biological level. Spiritually, it's the most aligned expression. Is that it's in marriage. That's why spiritual cultures, whether it's Christian or Hindu or Jewish or Muslim, whichever one, you'll notice that religious or spiritual cultures have a strong emphasis on family life, where the more materialized modern culture, which is all about consumerism and just whatever, it's just so lost. It's so far gone now. It's just, I don't even know what it's about. And that's the problem. It's not about anything. It's just about any whimsical fad that comes through. This must be it. This people are depressed, addicted to porn, drugs. It's crazy, right? You'll see that there's the family core is breaking down big time. Societies that have a strong family core prosper and do well. Societies who don't, and they want this whole group mentality thing going on, like this communist type style kind of governments, they end up being broke and crumbling and having tons and tons of problems, because the strength of a nation, the strength of a community is going to be in our family life. Here's something that strong conservative religious communities, unfortunately, aren't open to, which is how much there is to show that a good, healthy sexual life between partners, loving partners, is actually, there's like benefit there, and it keeps families together, and it's a healthy way of expressing it. Now, then, if you want to go to the level of what Steve Jobs, Mahatma Gandhi, what we're practicing, now you want to take it to a level of, I want to use my sexual energy, what Napoleon Hill was talking about in Think and Grow Rich, to actually reach peak potential, health, vibrancy, love making, money making, and higher consciousness. Then you've got to open up your energetic channels and actually transmute that energy. And that's done through meditation, through breath work, through muscle control. And that's where you can transform your sexual desires into desire for money. Here's a real basic way at the mental level. Every time a sexual thought comes back into your head, recognize, first of all, bring your awareness into your balls, into your genitals, because you'll see and recognize you're tingling down there. It's hot. There's fire burning, I'm just, my balls are on fire just thinking about it. All right. All right, that's the reality. I'm a horny dude. But here's what the difference, right? I'm feeling it, and I'm like, oh, yeah. But instead of thinking about now sex, I'm thinking about my mission. And all that lust, all that changes. It just shifts. And all of a sudden, it's more calm and strategic, where it's like, well, I'm going to put that into my videos. I'm going to put that energy into my workout. Like, I'm headed to the gym after this. Well, I'm going to be pumped up with sexual energy. I'm going to go lift more. That's why guys on NoFap, they work out more. They're more, because your natural testosterone, this is to me God's gift to give you drive to go work out and work and get, because that's what we do as men. That's our duty as men. But if we're depleting ourselves of our energy, we're taking away the natural mechanism. So the way to transform it, to have less sexual thoughts and to become kind of, when I have sex, I don't have sex, it's all good. I know I'm going to have sex because I have a beautiful wife and I'm an attractive man. And I know that not because of my features, it's because of my energy. Because when you're in your masculine, the feminine's attracted. When you're fire, the water boils. You don't have to say nothing. You don't need no pickup lines. You're not just you hang around the feminine energy long enough, and you're in your strong masculine. Masculine is compared to fire. Feminine is water. The water's gonna boil. You're going to be stimulated mentally, which also means you're going to bring excitement and experience to your interactions with the women around you. This is all going to bring sexual tension and sexual attraction. Now, what you then do is, don't call me every time your ball tingles. What you do, I don't want, all right. But what you do is you start to run the microcosmic orbit, which means you have to take the sexual alchemy training. You take that same tingling sensation, which is energy. At a mental level, don't just see it as, oh, this is sexual energy. I need to jerk off. This is sexual energy. About it. This is my masculine power. I'm going to get those projects done. I'm going to go and by the way, I encourage everyone to mix in a semen retention practice with a workout, because your testosterone levels are going to spike, your body fat's going to drop, and you are going to notice a mental and physical transformation. 6 months to a year doesn't mean you never ejaculate in that time, but you're regulating it. You're not just jerking off every day. You're not watching porn. If you're ejaculating, it's because you're having sex with your wife. If not, that energy is going into building your empire. That's the process of transmutation. That's what we're teaching guys in our leadership program and what we're teaching guys in our sexual alchemy course, the actual meditations and practices. Does that help? Did I answer that question?
Seems like you did to me.
Yeah, the question originally was how to stop thinking sexual thoughts. And so the short answer is you don't. You just put them towards your wife. You put them and you put your effort into getting actually laid. And what that does is it has to make you a better man. Next thing you know, you're a little bit more like, well, I should probably work out and get I should probably dress nice, because those are the things when you're first dating a woman, you naturally do, because all those things make you more attractive. Sexual energy, having high libido, puts you back into the state when you're 16 or you're 20 and you're hopped up on testosterone. But you're not looking for porn. You're looking for real women. You're looking for a real interaction. And if you're married, you're directing that towards your wife, which keeps your relationship. I've been with Sarah 14 years. We have a better sex life now than we've ever had before, since I practiced retention and transmuting that energy. Wait, even before, we were just talking about this like a week ago. Both myself and Sarah agreed, better than even the honeymoon stage when you first get together is better now, because we're mature now. We're freer now. We're confident in who we are. We can be together in a whole different way that we couldn't be together back then. And the quality of that sex has changed into a more energetic bonding practice, which has made us tighter and cooler and have a better friendship outside the bedroom. We're in sync with each other. But you can't get that when you're doing porn and masturbation. And so anyways, so you transform it to your wife. And then through the process of sexual alchemy, meditation, prayer, having a vision, a mission, having a larger vision for yourself, then you pour all of that sexual urges, which has power, motivation, intelligence behind it. You learn to draw that up the body, stimulate the brain, stimulate the heart, tap into higher frequencies, and take massive action towards your goals and your visions.
Yeah,
you got anything to add to that?
Just that, well, yeah, I mean, this program has changed my life in so many ways and helped me focus my energy so much into my life and relationships. So I'm grateful for that. And also, just as you were saying, there's different ways to put your energy into. And you alluded to earlier how we're refocusing the groups. So, you know, within the program, there's so many different things you can get out of it. Some guys might just come to quit porn and masturbation. That's cool. Some guys might want to take it further and get into the more sexual alchemy stuff and transmute it into their life, or the more kind of tantric practices in their relationship. But yeah, there's so many ways you can use your sexual energy beyond just like, I'm horny, that means I got to release it down here as soon as I can, or I hold on to it as long as I can, and it's gonna blow. It's like you can. It's wonderful, man. You know, when you learn to move the energy around, it's just you feel so good all over your body, and it just those urges just don't control you as much. And there's so many ways you can use the energy, and we have so many different options to teach you how to do that.
Yeah, man. And you know, this loss of sleep, I'll tell you, when I first started practicing, the same thing happened to me, because my body and your body's just not used to having that much energy in it, because normally we've been depleting it for years, right? You know what I mean? Right. So what happened with me is that the mind gets really agitated. There's excess heat in the body. So, you know, there's a few that you can do, which keeping your body cool, taking a cold shower at night, making sure that you stay off your phone or stimulating imagery before you go to sleep. Read a book that just might help you fall asleep. So there's some lifestyle changes that need to happen and adjust, which is another beautiful thing about this practice, is that every guy who takes this practice serious and that trains with us, not only do their libido rises, or they have all this energy and the sexual charisma and confidence, they just start improving their lives overall, because they recognize that to be a better, more attractive man, to have more money, to have a better relationship, it all starts with you bettering your health and bettering your mindset. Like nothing changes until you change. And sexual alchemy is the most rawest form of transformation that I've ever discovered, because it changes your very relationship with sex, which is your basic motivation. Once you shift your consciousness around sex, your whole life shifts. Like everything shifts. And the amount of freedom and personal power you have is great. That's why I personally believe that they're releasing porn. I say those who aspire to ultimate power, those who aspire to keeping the level of consciousness in people down, those who aspire to tyranny, they want everybody jerking off. They want everybody addicted. They want you drinking and smoking and jerking off and having no goals, because then you're easy to control. You become a pleasure-seeking being instead of a soul-seeking being, instead of an evolving, powerful man who runs, he's self-sustainable and can do business and run life and run his family and lead and has values. Instead of being all that, you just become weak, dependent on the system, passive, which makes it very easy to manipulate and control the society. So it's so important that we step up as men and we take these practices serious.
Yeah.
Hanakula, Titan Health. What's going on, man? Thanks so much. Anyways, thanks so much for the questions, Jason. Everybody who's just making comments. By the way, if you're watching right now, we invite you to subscribe, get notified, make sure that you ask questions. We're here to answer. I think we in that kind of answering those questions actually covered what we were talking about, wanted to talk about today, which was why sexual energy can grow your life exponentially. It's because it has the power. It doesn't just have physical power and motivation. It actually has creative thought and intelligence, which subtly influences your thought process. Sexual energy is a type of intelligence. Sexual attraction is a type of intelligence that's inherent. The gorilla knows that the badder and bigger and stronger it is, the more chances we get laid. When you're a teenager, you kind of knew how to flirt without even nobody telling you. You knew you would kind of tease, you would kind of act a little bit more macho. Maybe you'd start a fight just to show how like, yeah, I'm bad at, right? Like you had natural attraction qualities, but then somewhere along the line you got in your head, and you know, life told you all that you're a sinner or you're a saint. Like you just got told a bunch of philosophies and shit and blah, 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 that made you so confused that you don't know just how to express yourself. But actually you want to find that childlike expression again. Just be you and recognize that the you that's naturally you, the kid is naturally attractive and is full of vibrancy and health. And so all of that intelligence, imagination, and everything is coming from your sexual energy. And that's why you can have so much growth when you retain. Steve Jobs, Nikola Tesla, Einstein, Winston Churchill, they all gave credit. 50 Cent, Kanye West, like to name some, they all do sex transmutation in some shape or form. They might not all be meditating, or like Mike Tyson just went celibate for like 5 years to become heavyweight champ. Like, you know, Muhammad Ali would be no sex, no nothing. 6 weeks out before a fight, because he knew the power and strength and motivation it gave him. It's being wasted, which is great for you, for those of men who don't waste it. Fine, you want to waste it? I believe in free choice and will. You want to watch porn and you want to jerk off all day? That's fine. It simply means you're going to live a life of status quo. And for us who don't, who put our focuses to bigger things, man, there's not even competition for us. We're going to go clean house. We're going to be the next leaders of industry. We're going to be the titans of health, of industry, of wellness, of religions, preachers. Why? Because we'll have the drive, we'll have the charisma, we'll have the energy, and we'll have our masculine. We'll be high testosterone men. The secret to going out there and being a conqueror and champion and being a winner and being a businessman, it all comes down to, are you driven, and are you living a life where you feel fearless? And you can't be doing that while you're full of vice and, you know, carrying a bunch of extra weight and carrying a bunch of mental bullshit in your head. You just can't do it. You need to be clear, focused, healthy, and vibrant. And so that's what this gives you. And the process of transmutation, if you want to get to higher levels of practice, be able to open up your third eye, intuition, be able to connect spiritually, be able to go deep within your meditations, then sexual alchemy is the process, learning to run the mind, the breath, and the power of mental mind control within the body, how it totally exponentially grows your ability to attract and create. Next steps is to reach out.
Yeah, man. No, I just want to say I really relate to what you're saying about that.
Go ahead.
So quickly, just that youthful energy, man. Like we said, when we were younger, we naturally had that. I remember 15, 16, 17, like those kind of ages, even 18, just that kind of age. I was just feeling, so naturally just full of energy and testosterone and expressing it. Yeah, and I say somewhere along the line, like became like confused. And now I always used to look back on that and be like, man, remember how fired up I used to be, how full of fire I was, and trying to get that back. But now since doing these practices in this program, I can feel that again, but actually more mature now. It's like I feel that energy, but in a mature state, which is even better. And yeah, that's
you want to have the wisdom,
get your fire back.
Yeah, get your fire back. And fire is sex energy. It's funny how we kind of inherently know it. We're like, oh, I don't have fire in me, right? It's sexual energy that you need. And the first step to increasing sexual energy is get healthy. Get as healthy as you can. High testosterone, work out, meditate, eat good food, get on that health bandwagon, and it's going to totally shift your life. And then learn these practices of alchemy to really exponentially grow your energy, your focus, your determination, and your intelligence, your ability to tap into what Napoleon Hill called infinite intelligence, which is it's the subtle vibrations where we get inspired thought. It's in those states where we can create exponential growth and exponential impact in this world. And it's so badly needed. So here's the deal. If you're interested, you want to practice, you want to take the next steps, you got two options. First of all, go take the free sex transmutation guide, and that can get you started. If you know you already want to work with us at a higher level, you want to be part of one of our support groups, you want to learn these meditations, you want to inquire about our leadership program, generating more sales in your business. We're helping men develop entire lifestyles, from sex control to developing businesses and developing conscious entrepreneurs. Then set an appointment with me, jump on my calendar, set an appointment, reach out to General Jake, let us know what you're looking for. We'll jump on a free call. We'll make sure that we can support you, that we've got what you need, the programs, the training. If we're a right fit, we'll take the next steps. If we're not a right fit, no big deal. everybody, 100% of men that jump on a call, we're here to serve you. We give you value. Maybe it's not the right time for you to move forward. Maybe I'm not the right coach, but maybe I can connect you to the right coach. Here's the deal. Nothing happens unless you take action and actually take the next step. So stop messing around. Take the next step. And Jason, you know how to get a hold of me. In fact, I got to give you a call back. So I'll jump on a call with you in a little bit. All right, guys, have a fantastic week. We go live again next week. Reach out to us. Let's book a call. And as always, soldiers,
Retain.
Soldiers retain. Real strong men are self-control. Their info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. Soldiers retain.